Hey guys, welcome back to another Chase's Blazer EV Adventures video. Today I'm going to tell you 3 things I love and hate about my Blazer EV. I also want to note, these are in no particular order, just 3 quick things that come to mind. Starting things off with stuff I love, we're actually going to start on the inside. First one here being the battery kilowatt output on the driver display. It's actually really useful if you're trying to determine like your regen rate and stuff. So as you can see, now I'm probably gonna have to go and drive to get it to show anything. But essentially, if you have like an HVAC or a climate load, it'll show that as well. But see if I accelerate, you see 1430 kilowatts, back down to 1. But it's just kind of cool. It's useful if you wanted to do like your energy efficiency calculations and calculate like how much range you have left if you don't want to rely on the gasometer. But yeah, it's just kind of cool. Not many cars, as far as I know, have that ability to just show you the live kilowatt input and output, but that's kind of cool. Moving on, this actually kind of ties into this a little bit, is the regen paddle on the left side of the steering wheel. I actually find this really, really useful. I use it almost every time I drive the car, and honestly, it's pretty cool. Just being able to get a quick dab of regen when you need it, or if you're stopping, like even if I'm just coming to a stop and say I'm not going to be able to, it's not going to regen stop without me using the friction brakes. I actually pull on this very quickly, and it's very intuitive. Maybe it's because my first ever kind of EV vehicle was a Chevy Volt, and it had a similar paddle. Although this is not the fancy Cadillac version that's like pressure sensitive, so like depending on how much pressure is how much regen you're gonna get. It's just a click on and off. You can see it's just on or off. But again, you can set your preferred regen limits here, so you can have normal or off, normal or high. I will say the high setting is pretty intense, so you have to really like regen braking if you like that, if you want that. But otherwise, I just use mine on low, and that's been fine. Because if you ever need more regen, I just hit the pedal. Now, this is a little controversial, but I actually prefer the in-screen Android Automotive infotainment over something like CarPlay or Android Auto. I've actually grown to really love this system. Google Maps built in, you have PlugShare, you have Waze, you can do your phone calls and stuff. That's really all I need to do. Your charging menus are in here. You can, this is a really cool GM feature, you can start battery preconditioning manually, which is kind of cool. It tells you chargers and stuff. Now, I have this error whenever I try to look for chargers. I haven't contacted OnStar. I have a feeling if I did, they'd probably be able to fix it, but I just don't really care. You can set your charge limits. You can do your charge now stuff. Like if you need to schedule your charging, you can have a preconditioning time. All that good stuff. And yeah, so one of the biggest things that I have an issue with CarPlay, and I'm not sure about Android Auto. I don't have an Android phone. But I'm going to just pull up a map here so I can show you. So one of the biggest things, I just went to some random area. One of the biggest things that I have a complaint about is you cannot do this on Android Auto or CarPlay. 2-finger zoom. Come on. The first iPhone had 2-finger zoom. But this system at least has it. Yes, that is something that actually annoys me and drives me crazy. Anyway, let's move on to some of the things I don't like. Before we move on just yet, I want to give an honorable mention to the light bar on the Blazer EV. I actually think it's really cool. I'll unlock it quick. You can see it does this kind of cool animation, then goes back, and then we'll light up the headlights. I know, well, normally I'll light up the headlights, but I know some other cars like Tesla Model Y, Juniper, or Refresh, whatever you want to call it, has it now. There's a lot of other cars too. Lucid, I think, has it. Anyway, some more. But I think it's actually really cool. But now we'll get to the stuff that really kind of bothers me. Moving on to the things I really don't like. First up, the mobile app experience. Watch how long this takes. I'm going to hit unlock and hit OK. Okay, that wasn't so bad, but I'm guessing that's because I was just in the car. Let's go ahead and lock it. That was fairly quick too. Let's turn the climate on. But my point being, if the car is sleeping for more than like an hour, it just came on, more than like an hour, it takes forever. Like I've had it sometimes 2, 3, 5 minutes to send one of these commands. And that is insane. And it's on now. Let's turn it off quick. Yeah, so once you wake the car up, it's not so bad. It's waking it up that takes forever. If you compare this to the mobile app experience of a Tesla, it's way, way different. The app responds so much faster. And actually, for a matter of fact, I can actually show you this. Please give me 1 second. I am not signed into Tesla, so I cannot show you on this phone. But I have a friend who has a Tesla, and you can enable the climate on his car, and he lives an hour from here. I could enable the climate on his car faster than I could mine with the mobile app standing right here. So you got some work to do, Chevy. Next thing is a little contrary to what I said before. There is still no video streaming support as of right now. Today is October 28th, 2025. Now, they've been saying that this is coming, and as far as I'm aware, the Equinox EV already has it. But Blazer, still no updates. Now, there is a way to get around this, and I'll show you, but it requires making your own Android app. And that is just not something that people want to do. Like, it's a pain. All right, going back to what I was saying, there is currently no way to get software streaming natively from GM. It's just not a thing. Now, I know if you have an Equinox EV and you can get the latest update, you can technically get it, but Blazer still has yet to see that. Although, there is some hacky workarounds, like compiling your own Android app and then accessing it from there, which can be done. I will say this is not an easy process. You have to know developer stuff. You have to pay Google a $20 play council fee or whatever it's called. But you can get it, but it's kind of a pain. So I wouldn't honestly recommend it. But GM will add this at some point. So it's not something I want to be too harsh on, but it should have been there from the start. Come on. All right, everybody. I saved the best for last. Well, more like the worst for last. This car, for an MSRP of over $60,000, has 0 lane centering without having Super Cruise. Oh my God, does this annoy me. Now, when I first was looking into the Blazer EV, I saw that it had lane keep assist. I thought that was similar to like what Tesla's autopilot is. That's not the case. Lane assist is this little button right here, which basically, if you like drift out of your lane, it will move you back in. It will not keep your lane. So unless you pay like a $3,000 package upgrade, or in my case, find a Blazer EV that has Super Cruise, you have to drive manually 100% of the time, which is annoying. GM, this is a $60,000 car. This is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. It makes this car such a bad value when you look at it that way. That's like, really? Like, no basic lane centering? You can buy an old, like, 2019 Model 3 that has lane centering for, like, $15,000 or something like that. Like, come on, GM. I really want to love this thing. But please, please, this button should be present on every single Blazer EV, regardless of the trim. There is no way it's that expensive to install, and if it is, you need to redo your whole Super Cruise system. Every Blazer EV and Equinox EV, maybe not the base Equinox EV, but every Blazer should have this button present on their steering wheel. That has honestly been the worst part of this car, is having 0 ADAS of any kind. Honestly, GM, just please, please. For 2027 Blazer EV, that needs to be a standard across the entire lineup. It does. Anyway, not to be the biggest pain in the world, but thank you guys for watching. Comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next Blazer EV video. Peace out.